long video.
I thought I knew how bad of a person Sean Combs was, but the more I did my research, I realized I only knew the tip of the iceberg.
Talk to me.
Prosecutors say that the charges stem from years of sexual abuse and threats against women.
In fact, the deeper I got into my research,
You were 13, what were you saying?
I went there to see the lifestyle, and I saw it.
I actually started to feel the fear his victims must have felt.
Cause he did a lot of crazy shit.
Bro, that nigga Usher is fraud, bro.
I know for a fact he'll be behind bars.
Things got way darker than I ever imagined.
Oh, whoa, we can't show that.
And what I've come to realize is Diddy's life is one of the most evident displays of pure evil I've ever laid my eyes on. But I didn't want to make a journalistic overview of his life and crimes, those exist already.
Type
I
shit.
wanted to specifically focus on his dark psychology,
Talk to me.
deep dive into his mind, a study of evil.
There are no misconceptions about it.
This is the dark psychology of Diddy. I want to make something clear from the start. Usually in cases like this, I wouldn't use unsettled lawsuits as evidence for dark
This ain't got a scary
psychology because
voice.
the things are only alleged. But Diddy lost that privilege when lying about what he did to Cassie. Cassandra,
I respect that.
or Cassie, was a female artist that Diddy would sign to his record
He's
label,
pretty, I ain't gonna lie.
Boys Entertainment. She was 19 at the time. Diddy would help produce her
I'm
first
20 by the way.
album, and not long after he would begin dating her. They were together for 11 years.
How old was Diddy? How old was Diddy in 2007 when she was 19? See, now I gotta do my homework. I ain't no journalist, but I'm gonna do my homework. You were 38 years old in 2007 fucking with a 19-year-old nigga? You see, these niggas should have known back in 2007 what type of nigga you was. I'm not even gonna lie because nigga, Crody, you're dead wrong for this, fam. You're dead wrong from this. You're not even from the fucking grunge fam. You're 30, you're about to be 40 years old fucking with a 19-year-old, fam. My bad, the Toronto side of me slept out for a second. But bro, this is dead ass disgusting. How does, wait, bro, Cassie is literally 38 years old right now. Bro, hold on. Nigga, when you were 19, she was just coming out the womb, fam. This is sick. I ain't gonna lie, if I'm 38 years old, the bare minimum for a girl I would crush or fuck with is 25. Because once you hit 25, your frontal lobe is fully fucking developed. And you're actually grown. But at 19, you're fucking pretty much a jit still. Yo, you're cooked. Niggas actually cooked, bro.
2018, not much was known about their relationship. But in 2023, Cassie would seemingly
19 and 38, bro. Niggas should have been locked up for
The
that.
lawsuit alleged that he subjected her to a decade of abuse, violence, and sex trafficking. Diddy would actually settle the lawsuit straight away for $30 million, allowing it not to go to court.
30 million?
His other lawsuits started to come out from other victims over the next few weeks.
As soon as everybody seen you settled it for 30 M's, they're like, oh, I'm about to get paid. But I mean, you knew you did, so you had to pay. You're a fraud.
They included more claims of assault, abuse, and more heinous crimes we'll get into later. However, Diddy would take to Instagram to deny,
I remember this.
saying they're just looking for a quick payday. He doesn't specifically address Cassie, but it's implied in this message that her allegations are also attempts to, quote, assassinate his character and destroy his reputation and legacy.
Nigga,
Proof of these
what the
allegations for a
fuck?
few months.
Oh, I thought that was my screen.
Footage would be released that changed everything.
Disturbing new video.
Should I cover this?
Some of the accusations of abuse against
I might skip this, bro.
Diddy Combs.
I'm not trying to get
Show
banned.
the graphic part of the footage.
Okay, he won't show the
It
graphic
shows
part.
Cassie trying to leave the hotel they were in before Diddy emerges in nothing but a towel. He catches up to her, pulls her to the floor
Bro.
with her head before stomping on her.
Bro.
While she curls up and just takes the abuse. The day following this footage's release, Diddy would try and backpedal and issue a half-hearted apology for his actions.
Nigga apologize for beating this girl.
It's inexcusable. I take full responsibility.
You weren't sorry when you did it. Damn, I ain't gonna lie, good point. Nigga was not sorry when you did that shit.
After this, I just knew Diddy.
I ain't gonna lie, being a nigga and hitting a girl or woman, whatever the fuck, I'll say woman because she was a woman. It's the most cowardly shit you could do. I ain't even gonna lie. I would say give that nigga the chair, but we only give the chairs to the grapists, and who else we give it to? The school, you feel me? I don't wanna say the full thing, but we give it to them.
And although not all of the other lawsuits have yet provided proof of the allegations, it's hard to discredit them, when the same accusations he said were just looking for a payday turned out to be real. As mentioned with Cassie, Diddy used the ability to bolster her career as a way into her life. He was a
Right.
multi-millionaire that was working with a lot of big talent.
Rest in peace to what's her
To
name?
his advantage.
Fuck, this nigga's
When
name.
first signing her, he was 37 and she was
Biggie.
19,
I'm
and in
sorry.
the space of 2 years, he was able to seduce her into a relationship.
Nah, she look good though.
with him, but one with dark intentions.
I'm 20 by the way. She was 19 at the time, so you're different.
I believe that
I'm
this
not
would
30
be
like this
dark
weird enemy.
psychological seduction. This is using calculated hidden methods to obtain the availability of a target. However, it's only dark if this situation doesn't also benefit the other person. Seducing someone isn't the bad part if you mean good.
What this nigga got on, Cody?
Cassie were far from good. Also, as you can see in the methods, a planned out process is the method where your process of dark seduction is repeated with different victims. In 2024, model Crystal McKinney would file a lawsuit detailing how Diddy made promises to advance her career in the fashion industry.
Oh,
to have this big business mode
is this
with a lot of
Crystal?
connections in the industry be
Who's
focused
this?
on you and giving you compliments.
I thought Crystal was like,
It's
is she
very
light
easy
skinned?
to believe the words are true. Diddy would then invite her to his studio, where he would provide Crystal laced weed, unbeknownst to her at the time.
Oh my gosh.
She insisted that she'd had enough, but Diddy would continue to pressure her to smoke more.
No! This nigga's dead ass evil.
Until the point she was very intoxicated and felt like she was floating.
What was it laced with, bro?
He would lead her into a bathroom where he would sexually assault her, leaving her humiliated and traumatized. Not only did he...
Alright, it's official. Give this nigga the chair. You see, this is why niggas like me gotta be president, bro. If I'm president, any niggas who commit any form of rape, the school, y'all niggas are getting the chair immediately, nigga. But for some reason, we let these niggas just rock live. No, you're not going to jail for your life. You're getting boomed. I ain't gonna lie, yeah, vote sick, bro. Because this is crazy.
He blackballed her in the industry.
And he blackballed her in the industry too.
Her whole life ruined.
That's effed up.
Diddy decided she would be his next victim for dark seduction on that day. Very soon after this lawsuit, April Lampos would also file one, and a theme starts emerging. April was a fashion student who met Diddy and shared her dreams of working in the fashion industry, which was met with Diddy offering to...
What makes it even more sad is like these are all young women, freshly like adults. I don't know if that sounds weird, but I'm saying they're young women with dreams and aspirations, and they just met the wrong dude who had power, and they're like, oh, well, this dude can help propel my career, and he took advantage of that. That's some dark shit. I agree.
Mentor and get her
this is extremely dark.
Industry. In her own lawsuit, it states that Diddy love bombed her. Love bombing is a tactic that falls under the area of covert.
I ain't gonna lie, nigga. I've been love bombed like that shit worked out. I ain't gonna lie, but it was by a woman my age. She was like what, a year younger than me. It worked on me. I was a fool. That should be working.
Which is essentially using...
But it's weird. It's even weirder when you do it to people where you're fucking 99 years old now.
For your own benefit. Love bombing is defined as intense, sudden, and forceful displays of positive feelings towards the victim to create a feeling of affection and trust initially, so that they have the ability to manipulate without suspicion.
Yeah, and she manipulated me too.
With gifts and flowers, even Valentine's Day cards. However, one night they went out, and despite her not drinking alcohol, Diddy aggressively encouraged her to. They went to a hotel, and April would state to Diddy that she feels uneasy and sick. He disregarded this.
Probably because it's the first time drinking.
He love bombed her again and promised to make things better by helping her get into the industry. And being, quote, a naive college student, she gave him a second chance. However, once he'd been respectful enough to gain her trust again, he raped her in the parking lot. Believe
if I was president, this nigga would get the fucking chair, bruh.
it or not, he was able to sexually assault her on 2 more separate occasions after this, because he promised to use his power and influence to blackball her from the industry if she didn't do what he asked. So this brings it back to Cassie. He signed her into a 10-album contract deal.
10-album deal? Bro! Nigga, that's a 360 of fucking hell. You know how long it takes to drop 10 albums, nigga? Bro.
The bigger female artists like Rihanna and Beyonce still don't have 10 albums.
Exactly.
This would pretty much lock her into his business for her whole career. But he had likely seduced her into this and promised that he would give her the world. And he did. A world of torture. At some point in the relationship,
this is
would
crazy.
To host these freak-off parties. I'm not going to cover the entire details of what it consists of, but it would involve him hiring male sex workers to have sex with Cassie in front of him, whilst he watches and pleasures himself. All, of course, against Cassie's wishes and causing her discomfort.
That's some weird ass shit.
So much drugs that she was able to dissociate from these events and just let it happen. He had seduced this young woman so that he could watch this happen to her. For Diddy, it was all about the power.
It's disgusting,
he was
bro.
able to dictate every part of these freak-offs. He picked things like what lingerie Cassie could wear, to ensuring her nails were white so they could contrast with the skin of the black men hired to have sex with her. This was truly disturbing to read.
Yeah, it is.
Diddy had to have made Cassie so fearful of him and his power that she didn't leave or tell anyone about this.
Yeah, but she was young though. This nigga manipulated the fuck out of her.
That she accepts her fate as being used as an object in a sadistic fantasy, despite hating it. She also talks about the countless times he would assault her, verbally, yes, but also physically, as seen by the hotel footage, multiple times a year. Remember, Diddy had a lot of influence in the music industry.
Is that Jay-Z?
So much money that he would be assumed
that
to
nigga
have
hair is fucking
connections higher up,
disgusting.
which may have been why she felt so hopeless. We already saw with the other woman that Diddy had the power to blackball them from the industry, and for Cassie it would have been the same if she objected. He would use these mind control tactics to make the girls remain under his predatory control. Mind control is influencing someone to do something without them realizing that they were influenced.
Was she like under the
Mind
influence like of
control
drugs?
become puppet masters, pulling the strings of their
How could you get mind control? If it's like on some
Diddy
drugs, I would
doing
get it. But if
exactly
she's
that.
like, no, I need how could you get
Look
mind
at the
control?
methods. Finding those in need. Diddy was targeting young women who had just got into the industry and knew that they would seriously benefit from his connections, restricting choice. He would make them feel like their only choices are to stay with him and fulfill his desires, or leave him and be blackballed from their industry. I would even suggest he used mind games, which is playing with a victim's psychology negatively just for fun or to gain some influence, and making them think their own brain is bad, when in reality their mind is being tricked. A big mind game tactic is ultimatums, and as mentioned in Cassie's lawsuit, her volatile and abusive partner, who also owned her label and therefore held her future success in his hands, had fully exerted control over every aspect of her life. The ultimatum was that if she wanted a career, she had to do as he said, and do as he wanted. It becomes alarming then when you look at the cases of Usher and Justin Bieber. When Usher was
I seen shit on Twitter about these niggas.
He was invited to live with Diddy, where he experienced some weird things.
We're sending you
He doesn't go in detail though.
Flavor camp.
There you go.
To learn some. Yeah,
Flavor
that's what it
camp.
was called. Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop. Yeah, but you were 13. What were you
I
seeing?
went there to
This nigga was 13 in a room with the O word. I'm not gonna say it because I'm on TikTok live. I'm being, you know what I'm saying? I can't say what I want. Hey, even though I really don't give a fuck about saying this, just can't say it a lot. But 13 seeing shit like this will fuck you up, nigga. Like, I can't even imagine. What's good, Footburger?
But I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at.
Back in the day,
You can't, nigga, you're 13.
when I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the frosted flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented.
What the fuck did Puff just say? Nobody's gonna acknowledge this but me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the frosted flakes.
Now, I don't like making
Nigga has a mic that said
about
Diddy.
what may have happened, but it seemed to be an extremely weird relationship.
Nigga looks extremely
between
young in this
Usher
video.
And the grown diddler. When Usher was 16, Diddy would produce his album. And stay
Why
in
he talking
contact
about? Are we
with
talking
him
about
for
Diddy?
years,
I ain't gonna lie. I wanted to switch it up today. You know what I'm saying? I saw a video about Diddy when I was just got out of the bed. I was like, fuck it, we're gonna watch something on stream.
And explicitly says anything,
Covering the Diddy
we don't know
dossier.
if Diddy did anything to him, but using these mind control and mind game tactics, something could have been done that kept Usher obedient in order to not have his career ruined by Diddy's influence. Something similar would then happen with Justin Bieber as a teenager.
He's having 48 hours.
We just watched this video. Hashtag free Diddy is crazy.
We can't really disclose.
He doesn't look uncomfortable here though. He just looks like, because I think this is his first time meeting him. I don't think he like did anything like
After Justin
bad
spent
yet.
48 hours with Diddy,
Yeah.
and be gifted a Lamborghini, the two of them would go a year with little contact before they met up again. And Diddy
This is the one where he looks uncomfortable.
Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
See?
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my.
No disrespect to the Biebs. This thing has a V-neck of hell on, by the way. This like V-neck's damn near sagging to his motherfucking just belly.
Partners and whatnot. But you never really got my numbers.
Bro, this nigga looks uncomfortable as
You see
fuck
the
here.
nervousness and apparent fear in the 16-year-old, and that could be quite telling. With the dark psychology tactics we've covered
Diddy is
so
crazy
far,
on that.
it wouldn't have been hard.
Zick, you and Diddy go way back, huh? I've never had any contact, any interactions with the freakazoid himself. No, we don't go way back. Y'all are both the Chop brothers.
To have done
I see what he's doing.
something,
He's ready bending again.
but use his methods to keep him obedient. In 2024,
Who the fuck is this nigga?
Rodney Jones, aka
Yo, this nigga's punched.
would file a massive lawsuit against Diddy. Amongst other things, in this lawsuit, he would claim that Diddy pressured him to procure and engage in sexual acts with female workers, but also,
Bro, you a grown ass man talking about another grown man pressured you to get sex workers to perform acts and pleasure Mr. Combs. As a grown ass man, you could have said fucking no. Like what? I don't get that. You're a grown man,
he was a
Brody.
victim of unsolicited groping and sexual touching.
What? Mr. Drones was a victim of constant, unsolicited, and unauthorized groping and touching of his anus by Mr. Combs. Now, had Mr. Combs done any of those things to me, he would have got the uppercut, right hook, uppercut, jab of hell. But I ain't gonna lie, you niggas want money and fucking status so bad that you're willing to just compromise your morals. That doesn't make sense to me.
And that Diddy tried to pass him off to other
Nigga, you gotta give me at least 50 mil to do any of that shit to me. Nigga, you know, I'm sure you don't even have half of that.
using more dark psychology.
Maybe 25. I would have slept for 25 too, but you don't even got 25 mil neither.
Brainwashing, defined as the slow process that changes a person's identity and beliefs that were intended to suit the person doing the brainwashing. Lil Rod was a straight man. However, Diddy, for his
shit, not no more, nigga. No disrespect, though.
Homosexual, so that he can do the
He turns you into a gay dude.
That Lil Rod looked up to famous music producer Stevie J. Stevie J is married to a woman. However, Diddy would show Lil Rod a video of Stevie J having intercourse with a man.
Bro, this is crazy. Imagine you seeing your hero. I'm not even gonna say my hero's low-key LeBron, but I'm not gonna say that sentence about LeBron. Imagine seeing your hero who you think is straight. Nothing wrong with being gay, but engaging in act as.
Before telling Lil Rod, this is normal practice in the industry.
This is normal practice in the industry. Nigga, I don't give a fuck if it's the most normal shit in the world. If I like buns and I like women, I'll be like, nigga, I guess I'm weird, niggas. I like women. But if you're a grown-ass pound, guess how you just get like manipulated like those.
Mill and the aforementioned R&B singer Usher, which would make that case scary if true. Diddy believed that he could use the method of identifying Rod as susceptible, using the fact that he idolizes Stevie J to get him to fall into this new mindset that Diddy wants him to. Diddy would later try to pass off Lil Rod to his friend Cuba Gooding Jr. whilst on a yacht, who would end up touching, groping and fondling Rod's legs, thighs, buttocks and shoulders, before Rod had to push him away. When this brainwashing attempt failed, Diddy went back to the manipulation tactics and mind games, such as promising Lil Rod large amounts of money.
Nigga, 250 bands? Ownership of his $20 million. Okay. I'm starting to see how this grown ass man, $20 million property, you saw that whole year up 20 M's. That's a
major record label executives. But then he would switch from promising the world to making threats, such as eating his face and killing his mother. All of this to maintain dominion and control over Rod. Diddy would even brandish his guns and brag about getting away with shooting people, apparently admitting to a shooting in 1999, and this bragging instilled a fear into Lil Rod. This installation of fear from Diddy is what introduces us to the dark psychology concept of the dark tetrad.
What is the dark tetrad?
Of 4 personality traits that, when combined, create a recipe for pure evil, and I believe that Diddy shows clear signs of having all 4. The first one that links to what he did with Lil Rod is Machiavellianism.
Machiavellianism
states the ruthless exercise of power and cruelty over compassion and mercy, and in saying how they behave, it states that they try to be loved and feared at the same time so they can receive both obedience and praise, and if this is not a possibility, then they would rather be feared than loved. Diddy brandishing guns and bragging about—
I saw this in what's it called, The Boys Homelander.
The Machiavellian method to keep him compliant and obedient, whilst these horrid acts in the lawsuit would—
not like the Diddy did, but like the fear and love.
Earlier years in the industry, he surrounded himself with violence and was allegedly involved in shootings himself that he was able to get away with. He had ties to the murders of Biggie and Tupac, as well as being linked to the shootings of Suge Knight's friend Big Jake in 1995 and another shooting of a woman in 1999, but he wasn't imprisoned for any crimes. However, there were other violent acts that he definitely was confirmed to be the perpetrator of. In 1999, Diddy and Nas had filmed a music video for a song. When the video was practically ready to be uploaded, he changed his mind last minute and said he doesn't like the concept of the video and wanted a part of it cut. However, Nas's manager, Steven Stout, was reluctant to pull out as he had already put 14.
Damn, that's a lot of money, especially in 99.
A scene where the concept was Diddy's idea in the first place. The uncut music video aired on national television April 15th, 1999, and it was only a matter of minutes before Diddy and his bodyguards allegedly assaulted Steve in his office. It said that Steve was assaulted with a phone, an office chair, and a champagne bowl. Diddy was almost instantly arrested, criminally charged, and faced up to 7 years in prison.
Diddy can get it.
He had a change of heart and asked the DA to drop charges once Diddy apologized. This would be one of the—
He apologized after he beat you with an office chair, and you're like, okay, drop the charges. There had to be something more behind that, bro. What?
Times Diddy would apologize for his actions, but it helped him dodge another—
You apologize, I don't give a fuck, nigga, you going to jail.
Talk show host
You have to slap me at least 20 M's, nigga. At least, bro.
Entourage of assault, false imprisonment, destruction of property, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and a civil conspiracy for events that also entailed in 1999. According to Mills, he was interviewing Diddy and asked him a question regarding the death of his former artist Biggie, who had been shot and killed. Diddy refused to answer the question and demanded that the interview end right there and for it to never be aired, even offering to buy that tape off Mr. Mills through someone else. But when Roger refused, he was attacked in a parking lot on the way back to his car. He says Diddy's bodyguards prevented him from leaving, then took the videotapes and broke it.
Wow.
The area admitted there was an incident but couldn't identify the perpetrators.
They couldn't identify him.
Voted in favor of Diddy, and he once more got away with it. These acts of violence are removed by Diddy to keep his name feared and respected. Not only can he do the crimes, but often due to his power, money, and connections, he can get away with it. Diddy had a whole bunch of staff around him who aided him in his dirty work. In Lil Wayne's lawsuit, he claims that when complaining to Diddy's female head of staff about his actions, she replied that this is his way of showing that he likes you. The power to get them to comply comes from the fear and love a Machiavellian is able to receive. Next in the tetrad is psychopathy, a common term you may have heard that's hard to define but tied to superficial charm, impulsivity, and a lack of empathy and remorse. If we took a look at their behavior and compare it to Diddy's, you'll find a lot of similarities. His superficial charm in the way he has an apparent interest in upcoming talent when he really just wants to exploit them for his own twisted needs. The calculated lying, the lack of guilt towards his victims, especially towards Cassie, who he was willing to deny the allegations of until the footage came out. Even in his apology,
Nigga said all that was lies, bro.
Lack of empathy. His violent outbursts towards others in the industry also showed his lack of impulsivity. The next part of the tetrad is narcissism.
Is he a narcissist? Probably is.
Having an inflated self-worth and one believing they are superior, and this was Diddy to a T. At every dark moment in his life, his ability to get away with things due to his successful financial position caused him to feel invincible, and that's why he was able to hurt so many people.
But at the end of the day, his feeling of being invincible
was
got him fucked over.
a celebrity basketball game in 1991. Due to his poor planning and disregard of his responsibilities, 5,000 people turned up to a college gymnasium that could only host 2,700. As a result of this and the
I remember this
shot, people got trampled on and 9 of them lost their lives. Diddy
was
100% accountable but still had a big part to play as this was his event. He gave a half-hearted apology and paid around $600,000 combined to the families of the deceased.
Should have been way more than that. 20 times.
Punishment. From here, I believe he realized money and power were going to give him a superior ability to commit the crimes and get away with them, as documented in this video. He believed in his own power and that he deserved everything, which is why he would become abusive if anyone threatened to leave him. The final part of the tetrad is sadism. Simply defined as the deriving of pleasure from the suffering of others, Diddy's freak-offs were a clear example of finding some sort of pleasure in Cassie's suffering. Voyeurism is a real thing and is defined as the practice of gaining sexual pleasure from watching others when they are naked or engaging in sexual activity. However, due to his continuous verbal and physical assault of Cassie, this was more than that. He knew she didn't want it. She explicitly told him, but he didn't care. He still filmed it and pleasured himself to it. It excited him and discomfort, filled with drugs. Fulfilling the dark tetrad makes it clear that Diddy is pure evil. Following his recent arrest, many more truths will come to light. Regardless of the punishment, the damage to many of the victims will never be undone. Diddy's rise to power wasn't built on music alone. It was built on fear, control, and manipulation. And as the truth continues to unravel, we must see crazier shit. How many others have yet to come forward? How many victims does Diddy have?
How many more Diddy's are there in the world, bro?
Acts of pure evil.